Wow.
All right, guys, we're live here with Team Plane Exchange and Team Wordiem from LA, Plane Exchange from Hong Kong, and this is our second on air. We're excited to have everyone on board. Make sure you tune in for the whole session. See Pate there clapping. He's going to be our host today. And I'm Sahar from Angel Hack. So just to give you a brief overview, the HACKcelerator is a 12-week program where we take the winners of all of our global series and we incubate them for these 12 weeks, providing them mentorship, weekly speakers, and a local co-working space. Today we're tuning in with Plane Exchange from Hong Kong and Wordiem from LA. So I'll hand over the mic to these guys to tell you more about themselves. Plane Exchange, if you want to go first.
All right, sure. So yeah, we're Plane Exchange from Hong Kong, and basically what we do is that in Hong Kong there's a lot of exchange students, and these exchange students on average they travel about 3 to 4 times every semester. So every time they travel, they got to take the bus to the bank, which takes time and money, and at the bank they got to pay the commission fee, and then the rate which they get at the bank is different from the rate which is in the market, and then when they come back from their holiday, they do the same thing again. So they're gonna be end up paying the bank twice and going through the entire process 2 times as well. But instead of doing that, why can't students trade with each other? For example, every exchange student that comes in from, let's say, NYU in the States, there's one student from HKUST going to NYU. So that's almost 100% offset. Instead of having both guys trade with the bank, why can't you trade with each other? And then the seller of the currency determines the rate. So it's a win-win for both parties because it's more convenient and it's cheaper. And myself, I'm Johannes, and I'm working on the business development. And yeah, why don't you guys introduce each other on the other side as well?
Yeah. My name is Long, and I'm working on the backend. My name is Moon, and I'm working on the application from front-end perspective.
My name is Jillian, and I'm working on the design, the UI UX design.
All right. Let's take things over to Wordiem with the pitch.
All right, so we are Wordiem, and what we do is we are a vocabulary tool for students. The main thing right now is keeping store of the words that you want to learn into a word bank, and that could come from you inputting the word or a word that you found on the internet as you're browsing, or a word that you're wondering the definition for when you're reading PDFs. So that's the main thing right now. It will have a highlighting feature as you read through certain text of all the words that you have that you want it highlighted, as well as pop-up definitions, thesaurus, context. It's just really help out our main audience, our main target is students who are learning. It could be law, it could be biology, it could be something that is very intensive in learning vocabulary, and we feel that it's easier to learn vocabulary through more interactive way of learning things. So I am Tech. I am the front-end engineer.
I'm Christopher. I'm the back-end engineer.
And I'm Sarah, and I did the UX UI design.
Cool. Awesome. Well, great to meet both of you. Welcome to the second Hack on Air. And I'll bring things back over to Plane Exchange. So you were talking a little bit before about how you guys are more of an information brokerage rather than a actual currency exchange. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about that from you guys, specifically with regards to how, I guess, you offer like a better product than the banks or any other similar kind of service.
Yeah, so basically what we do is that at no point in time do we as a platform actually own the currency. All we do is we connect parties with offsetting interests. And by doing this, we are able to save a lot of money because people who put up the offers, they put up their own currency rates. And on average, we have about 20% of saving rates compared to the rates which are given at the banks. So if you use our platform, you're going to use save 20%. This is not just on the monetary side, but also on the time value of money, because it takes quite a bit of time to get to the bank and get back. And we try to take all these things into consideration when formulating our save percentage.
Hmm. So you guys are just connecting two people with currencies who are trying to trade each of their currencies for the other person's.
Yeah, with offsetting needs.
Hmm. And would you be hoping to target students at the same university?
Yeah, so currently what we're doing, we're only testing at our university, which is the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. And we're just there testing the platform, refining the system because we've built the system, we know it inside out, but the way the student perceive it is a completely different thing. So making sure they understand and making sure everything is very clear. Once we've got that sorted out, we want to enter into all the other Hong Kong universities as well, but we would make it on a university by university basis because otherwise the convenience factor, which is one of our key selling points, would then be gone. So because it's very easy to come meet up on campus. I mean, if you and I were both on the same campus, to meet up maybe it takes 5-6 minutes. Whereas if I'm trading with somebody from another university, I might have to hop on the train for 20-30 minutes, and then suddenly we're the same situation again as before.
Hmm. And do you have any plans to expand your service to more digital trading, or is it mostly more in paper?
I mean, currently the digital trading space is very, very crowded. I mean, on digital currency exchange. On the physical currency exchange, there's hardly anybody there because there's several issues with regards to safety and money fraud. But really, we're very interested in these challenges, and that's what we want to tackle with Pay in Exchange.
Cool. To bring things over back to Wordiem, could you guys talk a little bit more about how your platform works and how you help people actually learn words?
Okay, so how a platform works right now with our MVP. We have a word bank. Basically, you enter in the words that you want to learn. What we did is, at first, our strategy, we thought that we could assume certain vocabulary that people are trying to learn. Let's say we give a biology set of words to learn from. But other than that, hold on. Yeah, so basically the main services have the words in the word bank, and we are making a Chrome extension that wherever you browse, it will highlight the words from your word bank. So that's basically the gist of it.
We also have like a user profile, and we can customize vocabulary words. So every time you log in, you'd have your personalized vocabulary lists, and you can input in your own definitions, and right then and there, when you click the button, they will be added to your personal word list. And if you click it, the definition shows, and there's also the in-app reader, which features OCR, which changes .pdf files and .jpeg into .text, and it highlights the words from your vocabulary list so you can read them and learn them contextually.
Gotcha. So it's like you put in like a list of words, and then you see them highlighted with whatever you're reading.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can have the definition.
Do you would you have any kind of learning in terms of after you'd used it for a certain amount of time, it might suggest type of words that you would want to learn?
Yeah, we for the next iteration to like have some retention is like we thinking about gamifying the whole platform and actually inviting opening up the platform to other developers to add on different modules to the service, where you can have you have a list of words and what else can we do with this list of words, and that include playing a game or what else can we do?
Well, one of the major games that we want to roll out is like a challenge system, and it's kind of like a social platform where you can, like, let's say like you're in a class with somebody and you have like XYZ vocabulary that you need to learn, then you could challenge your friends in the class to learn them, and there's like a social mini game going on there.
Yeah, so that's a few of the possibilities we haven't really dived deep into yet, but as soon as we figure out our platform and make it a little bit more polished, then we can start moving on to that. a little bit more gamifications.
Yeah, definitely. It's exciting idea. To bring things back over to Plain Exchange, I'm curious how your guys' experience was at the Angel Hack Hong Kong hackathon that you guys won, because it sounds like you guys had a good amount of experience with going to hackathons prior to that.
Sorry.
Experience in other hackathons?
In other
compared
hackathons?
to-
Okay. First I was in HackUSD. That's HackUSD. And later I also organized a hackathon for HackUSD. That's how I think got in touch to Angel Hack the first time. And later I joined with Johannes, the HackCoin. It's like a cryptocurrency hackathon. And yeah,
And this was all prior to the Angel Hack hackathon?
Yeah, it was before that. And then we can go to Angel Hack. So for me, Angel Hack was the third hackathon I attended to.
It was the first one?
It's the third one.
Oh, gotcha. And how did you guys enjoy it there? Did you guys stay up all night?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty intense environment also, yeah. But we also had like people massaging, so
Yeah, we had,
each one.
yeah, we each got a free massage, and then
we
tons
had
of Red Bull.
Tons of Red Bull.
Yeah, I think the Nerf gun fights, those are the things which kept us like awake.
Yeah.
Which were?
The Nerf gun fights.
Oh, nice.
Johannes got like really bored because he had nothing to do, and then he began to shoot us. So yeah, he make us work.
That's hilarious. Did you guys go in knowing that you were going to work on Plain Exchange?
Kind
Most
of.
yes.
Like we haven't really decided what we should do.
Yeah.
But
we knew we were going to do something with currency exchange.
Is that a problem that you've kind of faced yourself? Is that why you decided to go with that?
I think Johannes has a good story for
Yeah, actually, Long and I were on the train riding along, and they were like, "Yeah, what crazy things could we build?" And then we were thinking, what about if we could do it offline? And I was like, oh, on a technological side, it's like such a challenge. And then when we came to the hackathon, I think Moin only read about like the day or two before it, like how to build a peer-to-peer network. And then during the hackathon, he was just reading through it, building it, and at the end of it, we built a fully working prototype. So it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty impressive to do that in 24 hours.
So like going from not even knowing what a mesh network is to building one in 24 hours. So like that was pretty. That's when you're at the stage you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. We can do a lot of stuff here.
Hell yeah, no, that's awesome. And you shot some Nerf guns on the way too. Like you guys are just killing it.
And free massages.
And free massages. Right. Wow, guys lived the dream. Awesome. What about you guys, Wordiem? Where did the idea come for you guys? Is this also something that you've experienced, or you've just seen others?
Well, actually, the idea came to me one night before I sleep, and I always have weird ideas that just pop right before I sleep. But anyways, yeah, it just came to me about how, because I was learning Korean, I lived in Korea, and I hated learning vocabulary, like memorizing flashcards. And flashcards are like, you learn it in hopes that you will use it later. So and I was thinking, why can't we just have a vocabulary tool that you can learn as you go, as you experience it, as you run into those words. So that was my idea, and it was just a random idea I had like 3 or 4 months before the hackathon. I even bought the domain because I thought the idea was so dope that the idea came to me, and then the name came to me second, and then I'm like, you know what, the name is too cool, so I just bought it anyways for fun. And I for the LA hackathon, I wasn't actually going to go until the night before. So I just showed up, and I happened to find Sarah and actually our other teammate who, yeah, he's not here right now, but yeah, they were just talking, and I just managed to just throw an idea out there because both of them were just exchanging. It just so happens that both of them liked it and be like, hey, let's build it out. Something simple enough that we can just build and work off.
It was actually interesting too because it fit with the sponsors, which the sponsor challenge, which was HP, and we got to implement like a lot of their APIs and like text to speech and a bunch of like little features that made it a little bit more useful and integrated with sponsors. So it was fun to like incorporate everything with the idea.
That's awesome. No, that's really convenient.
We actually had fun with the text-to-speech API, where we have a block of text, and the text-to-speech would read in a normal pitch, but once it gets to a word that you don't know, it'll read the definition on a higher pitch, and that got everyone.
Funny voice.
It sounds like Mickey Mouse. Yeah.
Wow.
That's.
Yeah, on our side, a bit of a clarification. Like, actually, beforehand, we worked on this plain exchange already. So the idea actually didn't originally come from the hackathon. For me, the issue was that I was working in Brazil last year, and in Brazil, you use Brazilian reals. And in Hong Kong, it was impossible to buy these Brazilian reals. So I was just going from bank to bank, from store to store, and nobody had them. So I ended up being forced to buy them in São Paulo at the airport, and as probably everybody knows, if you exchange currency at the airport, it's like the most expensive place to do. So I thought, why can't I leverage on the network of my university? I mean, my friends are only so big. My friend circle is only so big. Why can't I see what all the offers are in the university? So that's sort of where the original idea came from. But for the hackathon, yeah, it was this crazy on the train idea we thought about developing.
About actually adding the peer-to-peer network.
Yeah.
Cool. So plain exchange. What would you guys say is like the biggest challenge you have right now in making your product market ready?
I mean, on the business side, the biggest challenge would be getting people on board, because the more people you have on board, of course, the more useful and valuable the platform is to people, because the acceptance rates will be faster. But on the technology side, we also have some challenges. Maybe Long and Mike can talk about those.
Have you guys managed? How have you guys been managing getting users on board? I know you guys rolled out a launch plan for your university. Can you speak more about that?
Yeah. So basically, our university is very, very supportive. So we're just going to different departments and asking them to help us send out mass emails. So before the exchange students came in, they sent out an email to all the exchange students, and then we also send a mass email out to all the first-year business students. So we're just trying to get different mass emails to different channels and trying to get through that quite a lot of people on board, which has been working quite well for us. And we hope to be doing similar strategies for the other universities, but we're yet to achieve the all students mass email. We're not quite there yet.
We tried it with posters as well. It took us like 4 or 5 hours, and we had this bit.ly link to track, and it was so ineffective. So we had 10 scans or something.
And how big is your university?
I think undergrads 9,000, postgrads are 3,000. That's about 12,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, they won't.
Pretty good number.
Yeah, we have more at HKU, so we plan to expand in the near future. We have a lot of students who level down.
I think we're probably before the semester ends, we're going to expand to HKU, especially when half of us.
A different university.
We're from HKU. So.
We're from HKU.
HKU. Cool. So I'll bring things back over to Wordiem. Why do you guys think that your team specifically is the right one to sort of solve this problem of helping teams learn or people learn vocabulary and everything?
So there are a couple apps out there, specifically Quizlet, and Quizlet's kind of similar, but the thing with Quizlet is it's very broad. It's generally for making like flashcards that you're inputting all the information yourself. We kind of want to streamline things, sort of like Pinterest, where you're just picking words, things are growing organically, and yeah, I mean, Quizlet is kind of much broader ranged. We want to focus specifically on vocabulary, and yeah.
Cool. And what distinguishes you as a team? You know, like what experience do you as a team have that you think will help you really shape this product into something that's useful to everybody?
Well, our team, I think what's really good is we have experience in learning vocabulary. We, as in, I think the really good network is we have Sarah in the school. We're actually out of school, but we're connecting with more students, and I have we just have a big network that we can reach out to. And our advisor is one of our advisors. He just launched an app in San Diego, I think UC San Diego, and within a week he got about 1,000 users on his Android app for a music festival. So he's helping us out with how to reach out and strategies to reach out to students.
Cool. Are there any specific universities that you're kind of targeting off the bat? We can shout them out probably.
We have some nursing students at San Francisco State. I think Sarah, her sister.
Yeah, Cal State Long Beach. I know like a lot of people in 2 different majors actually, and actually all different kinds of majors at my school at Cal State Long Beach. And my sister goes to UC Santa Barbara. She has a very large network, and my other sister, she's in high school, so she has a network from there. So it's just like spans across 3 different schools. We've done lots of usability testing for different majors, different interests, ages, genders. So it's interesting to see different responses and what people value more in different aspects of Wordiem so far.
And what would you guys like? What was the biggest surprise so far when like showing people your product, like in terms of critiques or things that they liked about it that you just didn't see coming?
I think most of them really like the interface on how easy it was to use, and it's fairly attractive. I think some of the things we're not happy with, like some of the APIs out there for vocabulary, are kind of finicky. Like currently we're using like a Merriam-Webster, and like they return like XML format, and it's like not the most fun to parse. So if we could find a better API or multiple API solution, that'd probably be better.
Yeah, right now we're just having trouble with getting definitions that are really on point. Other than that, pretty positive feedback. There are some who are confused about our interface because our front page, I left a little game where they can just add a word and it's just click on it to just make it disappear. They thought that was the app itself. So yeah, we will work on our next iteration. We'll work on being a little bit more clear about having a sort of walkthrough tutorial as part of the interface.
I feel like a lot of people, there was like a surprisingly larger amount of positive reviews, so it was interesting to see some of that.
That's awesome. That's really good news. Now you should have confidence that it's mostly good reviews.
Yeah.
Maybe they're being nice. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna bring things back over to Plain Exchange. I'm curious how you guys felt when you won the hackathon. Were you surprised, or did you expect to be the winners?
We were a little bit surprised, I would say.
Yeah, we're a little
Yeah.
surprised. Like we're even surprised if we got to the top 10, I
Top
think.
10, yeah.
And we announced us last, so
Quite happy, quite excited, but surprised.
Yeah.
yeah.
Were there any projects
maybe
at the hackathon that you thought? Were there any projects at the hackathon that you thought like, damn, these are gonna be hard guys to beat, and it was just like amazing when you did beat them? You're like, hell yeah.
I think the t-shirt guy, right?
The t-shirt.
Oh, the T-shirt guy. Yeah, I remember him as well.
The t-shirt guy.
One guy,
That sounds interesting. The t-shirt guy.
And they were designing a product that scans someone's t-shirt and then gives you results from like Amazon or somewhere that you can buy it from. So there was a
Oh,
lot.
I see.
Wow.
So we thought that was a really good like implementation in 24 hours.
yeah.
hmm Well, apparently not as good as you guys, so
Yeah.
good stuff.
And how's the accelerator been so far for you guys? Good times with the mentors?
Yeah, our mentor is pretty good. Like
Yeah, pretty impressive. Yeah.
we met him.
Yeah.
He has quite. I think some of the parts he showed us we should not share. I don't think so.
Trade
I'm trying
secrets.
to pen test our app. I'm a bit afraid about that. So
Yeah, but he's quite supportive in everything. But he could be taking all the time out.
yeah, and he seems not to sleep at all.
Yeah.
That's Nikki, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's pretty cool guy.
Very cool guy. One of my favorites.
Cool. Do you guys have any plain exchange story that just epitomizes why your product is necessary and what you guys are about that's happened so far?
Excuse me?
Can you repeat that? Yeah.
Like just a story of your guys' experience with plain exchange so far that you think is worth telling or gets across how great.
I think I have one. It's like we were in production already, and then suddenly the server dies. I was searching, oh god, what is the problem? Something is wrong with my code. I was checking everything through the logs and so on, and in the end, after like 1 or 2 hours, I find out it's not my system. It's just like someone from us changed the password from our mail server.
Oh.
So our backend couldn't authenticate it anymore. So things crashed.
Man,
Yeah,
classic
so
stuff.
it was quite exciting.
That's the part you live for. How long? The excitement.
I think another one was our database was overflowing. And we have like we're using Heroku, and we are still trying to stay on the free level. So suddenly we had over 20,000 rows. And, where does the 20,000 rows come from? Like we don't have that many offers. And it turns out because we are pulling currency data. It turns out I'm not updating the currency data. I'm always appending them.
Mm.
So like every few minutes, I pull all the currency data and like push them to the database. And it just keeps on growing until it exploded.
Classic startup move with the trying to stay with the free version. That's what happens, man. You eventually hit that point.
Yeah, Heroku gets out of hand quick too.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'll bring things back over to Wordiem. I'm curious what your guys' plans are eventually to monetize.
Well, we have right now our strategy would be the premium service and building on something that's we start off as free and then move on to features that we'll build on later to add on to it that adds value to what they want to do with the whole a list of their words. Another thing is really we would want to work with partner with institutions or colleges, schools, high schools, and those would be our other target, is to work with those school and institutions to develop their curriculum as the tools to help teachers to help out their students in their learning. And that's our strategy for now. And things might come up. We are open to that. So that's about it.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting to partner with universities with the actual teaching of the courses. How would you imagine that, like, looking on the teacher side?
I'm thinking about how, yeah, we haven't really gotten there about thinking about how a teacher would interact with our application, but we will think about how they have their curriculum, and if there is a heavy set of words that they want their students to learn, they could use the application kind of like as a supplement to like a Blackboard, or we'll look into what other ed tech platform there are, and we can be a component part of those platforms. So that's pretty much where we are right now.
I think it could really cater towards certain majors as well that are that have lots of vocabulary to learn, maybe law or biology, some kind of medical students, and it helps with in-context reading and finding words that fit into that category. And I think Quizlet has something where teachers can make their own lists, and students can find that list and study the pre-made words by looking up their profiles. So that might be an option. We're thinking a little bit more creatively though, and like Tech said, are open to more options.
Have you guys considered ads?
Yeah, definitely ads, but we kind of want to. Well, yeah.
Like you could you see the word car, it will highlight it and give you like car ads.
Yeah, I think we did talk about that at one point, but I didn't really want to detract from from learning experience. But
the interface.
But we definitely have the option of like a freemium service later on. So once the ecosystem is complete, there'd be kind of like more social interactions. So you'd have like avatars and stuff. You could let's say you're studying nursing, then you could have like a nurse icon, and you could get like a syringe or like a nurse outfit or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are all, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in, especially with, because I'm noticing a trend within at least applications is like WeChat, and where that platform is open to developers to add on anything they want, and pretty much I really want to explore the idea of what if because we can't provide all the solutions of creative ways of learning, and we really want to open it up to other developers to see what else can we do. And I wonder, I will look more into WeChat, but that's an interesting model to look after too.
We were also talking about the ability to print out your flashcards, so they'd be formatted and you can select certain words. So that might be an option for monetary value. And we also talked about more customization options and colors, and being able to even add such things as pictures when you're creating your vocabulary flashcards. So we've iterated through certain ideas, and for now we have the bare minimal technology, but once we polish those up, we're open to being pretty creative.
Yeah, I really think it's interesting what you're saying about opening up the software, because it definitely seems like the direction things are going. And yeah, especially if it's a Chrome extension, if then someone else can, if they create a reader but then use Wordiem to help them learn, What I'm curious, like, what idea you guys would have of that, of like a cool implementation of that maybe you wouldn't think of.
Could you repeat the question?
Just like what, like how would you test the comprehension of someone in a word if like your product was used in a reader application?
Well, so I guess it depends on the application specifically. The major one we were having was just like quizzing your friends against each other, and that like you would basically be taking like a timed test based on how quickly you know the answers to certain things, and so you would basically be using your friends and your like social network to keep yourself in check on vocabulary words. And also like we're building an algorithm so that like you know as a word appears more and more, there's like a high likely like you'll see it in your word bank more, and you can we have like plans in place for like tier options for the word bank itself. So like the words that you know more and more will kind of trickle to the bottom, and eventually you can just move them off or do something funny with them later on, like crossword puzzle or word search.
Cool. I'm going to bring things back over to a plain exchange. I'm curious, who are you guys' favorite other HACKcelerator 15 teams, besides, of course, Wordiem? And additionally, who do you see as your least favorite, or maybe any teams you have a little bit of rivalry with at this point?
This is a team.
A lot of debate going on here. Sorry,
And
go ahead.
yeah, the team you interviewed last week, one of them was Zane, I think, and I particularly like their idea of having peer-to-peer data exchange, because there's a lot of things that you can do, and that's similar to what we had initially at Inware, and the inspiration of that was from our side was basically to exchange currency, but then it also cleaning data, sort of making a social network. So that's a cool application, I would say, as well. And I really like that.
Johannes,
Awesome.
you got any?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Long, I think Unwind, they caught it pretty well. But as you asked on the competitive side, I think based on what we're doing, there's like nobody really doing exactly what we're doing. Like we're pretty alone out there in the space, which we're pretty happy with. As well in Hong Kong, we're the only ones doing this kind of currency exchange. So yeah, we're enjoying ourselves for now, but we are aware that it's not going to last forever.
Market leaders right here, guys.
Actually, I want to give a shout out to BlinkMe. I really love their design.
Yeah, BlinkMe is
Yeah,
awesome.
BlinkMe.
Yeah.
That's.
Awesome.
Do you guys have any others besides BlinkMe, you think?
There's like an app. I don't know the name of their app.
SafePoint.
Oh, SafePoint. So it's essentially like it's like a party planning system that takes on like RPG aspects. I think it's like really cute. But also we're kind of like plain exchange in the fact that I think we're one of the few, or if not only, like edtech type apps. So I think hopefully that separates us from this out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think it's interesting when you see like, things like gamification kind of coming out, because that's definitely a big thing in tech right now. All the games.
I just love gamification in general, because like I have a problem doing a lot of things other than playing video games sometimes. So it really helps me concentrate on things that I need to be doing. Yeah, and it's a really good model to keep people attracted to like your app. Like if they're constantly coming in to like do daily tasks or log in or do something, like it keeps them in your ecosystem, which is good.
What games are you playing right now, Chris?
Ooh. I'm playing a lot of Hearthstone. Yeah, we'll leave that alone though.
Yeah, you're right. We should stay on the topic at hand.
But we can talk later.
League anyone?
So, Plain Exchange, What if you guys get to pitch at Global Demo Day? What would you be hoping to get out of that?
We have been to several pitching events, and from the way we approach it usually is currently we don't need much investment. Like we're bootstrapping everything out of our own pockets, and we hope to be doing so for as long as possible. So what we usually look for are really mentors, people who can criticize our point of views and our ideas, who can bring new perspectives to the table, and then building the relationships with the investors who would see as mentors. So later on, when we are ready for investment, we then already have an established relationship, and we could be able to basically rely on these people and know that they're trustworthy as not just people who are putting money into the business, but people who care about the business and who have an interest in it as well.
That's really smart. I think that's really smart that you guys are thinking about it that way. And just out of curiosity, what kind of mentors are you most interested in? Like, are there specific backgrounds that you're kind of targeting? Just true to the app and are willing to give all the feedback they can.
I mean, currently we have a pretty awesome mentor. Shout out to Desmond. He's an investor as well. We were at his Pitch Perfect, which was happening in Hong Kong end of May last year. So we attended that, and then afterwards, yeah, we've been meeting up with him regularly on almost a certain point in time on a weekly basis, giving him updates, and he was always giving us the point of view of an investor or as an outsider who doesn't understand the platform. So that was really, really helpful. But on a industry-specific level, I think nothing in particular yet. Because on average, everybody could be using our platform. So to have everybody understanding it is a very valuable insight for us.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that is for the international teams, it's kind of interesting to hear your guys' perspectives on how you're going to attempt to break into the U.S. market and everything. And currency exchange definitely seems like a natural way to do that.
And currency exchange is like a global thing. I mean, everybody exchanges currency. And no matter how high the credit card penetration is, I mean, for your cab or for your street food, you're always going to need some cash. So even if you're on a business trip, your company may give you a card to transact with, but you're still going to need that foreign currency to get those things done. So it's a universal issue, and everybody likes saving money. Everybody likes saving time. So we hope to be, with these kind of characteristics, be pretty well perceived worldwide.
Yeah, I'm curious what your thoughts are on all of the money sending services that have popped up, like Venmo and Square Cash. I'm guessing you don't really see those as directly competing with you.
Yeah, because as you said already, they're dealing on virtual money, whereas we're dealing with physical cash. And then the challenges and then the customers we're looking for are quite different. So for these virtual currency exchanges, they're usually in quite large sums. You're talking about $1,000+ US, whereas we're looking more on the smaller side of transactions. We do have some quite large transactions, for example, from students coming in. They like to exchange the money. Some of them have tried to exchange their school fees, but we weren't ready back then. But most of the people, yeah, I mean, that's quite crazy. But most of the people are looking at rather small sums. So, for example, to get to the city center and then to be able to exchange there, or for your trip. I mean, and you're not going to use over $1,000 US for your weekend trip. So it's more of these small kind of money sums you're looking at. Yeah,
definitely. And I like the idea too of it almost being like a pseudo-social platform where, if you're from Switzerland and you have all these Swiss dollars left over, then you give them to someone who's going to Switzerland. That's you can tell them where to visit.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, actually, right now we're working on that to improve that process as well. Maybe Long and Moin can talk a bit what we're doing on the technology side to help people to really facilitate to get to know each other and to really get the best meeting place.
So right now it's not implemented yet, but we are trying to build an in-app messaging service. Yeah, and there was this discussion we had. What happens if people would just keep on chatting?
Yeah.
So and then what happens if Plain Exchange becomes the Tinder of playing?
You can't say Tinder and money exchange in the same sentence long. That's illegal. All right. We've got about 15 minutes left, so I'm going to bring it over to what was my favorite question of the last Hack on Air. Wordiem, who is your favorite tech community figure that you guys look up to?
Favorite tech community figure?
Yeah, and not someone too major, you know. Let's not talk about the Elon Musks and Steve Jobs of the world. Someone a little more, you know, under the radar.
Someone... Elon Musk was my go-to guy, so...
No.
So basic.
Yeah. In SpaceX?
Tech
Yeah,
basic. Exactly.
he's very under the radar.
Hashtag tech basic.
Do you have one now?
I think I have one.
I mean, I think I did met a CEO from Singapore. He is the one that did a wireless charger, and I really like his attitude, and he's really friendly, and he came out to San Francisco to really immerse himself in the Silicon Valley culture. He has no fear of like going out and just, like, you know, on his own and meeting everyone. He literally came through. We were at Angel Hack, the the Capital One hackathon, and it was like at the end of day one, and he just jumped in through the door. It was like he found out about the hackathon like that day, and he's like, he saw our team and he's like, can I join you guys? And his sort of enthusiasm, and I think he built a pretty good business too, and for him to be so humble, and his name is Kenneth, so shout out to Kenneth.
Kenneth Lu.
I really admire someone who really goes out of his element to pursue, you know, to at least yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Sarah?
Well, I'm not following too many developers at the moment. I'm receiving a minor in computer science, but I haven't like delved too deep into it. But I definitely appreciate the developing community very much. I respect it very much, and it's very inspiring. Even just to see like just students, teachers, just anybody who's passionate about it. It's very I respect them a lot and appreciate it, and yeah, I think it's great.
So the whole developer community are your role models. I like that.
Yeah, pretty much. It's very general. I'm still pretty new into it, but I really love it so far. And my background is design, so it's new for me.
Cool. Johannes, I feel like you've got to have some tech people you look up to.
Oof, tough question. You've put me in the spotlight here. Like, who do I look up for in terms of tech?
Maybe, like we were like talking about, like, you know, Casey Fenton. Casey Fenton. Yeah, I think he's the founder of Couchsurfing.
Oh yeah.
And that was like we had at once a discussion, like, because it's quite similar to our problem. How can you make strangers meet up? Like, you have a lot of trust issues, and you need to build communities. And he built like a huge travel community. And even I used Couchsurfing when I was traveling. So it would be awesome if we have something similar for currency exchange.
And
what was his name again? Sorry, say that again.
Not sure how to pronounce it. Casey Fenton.
Casey Fenton. Interesting.
Founder of Couchsurfing. Like, you're
with
Couchsurfing, right?
Do you know anything about how he got to be successful that you guys specifically are looking to emulate? Like how he did want that buried?
Not quite sure.
Okay.
So if you happen to know him,
We'll look into it.
Yeah, we'll peruse the Angel Hack Network. Cool. Well, I think that we're getting pretty close to wrapping up. Shouts out everyone for tuning in. And we will leave off now with a little bit of last words from each of you guys. So if there's one thing that anyone should know about your team, your platform, who you guys are, little, hashtag Wordiem for president, hashtag plain exchange for president type speech. I'll give it over to Wordiem for that.
Hey, actually, before we get into that, we have some questions from Twitter that were coming in earlier for the teams. So let's give those a little attention.
On the stage.
So let's see. One of the questions is, hey, Plain Exchange, any plans on taking the business full digital? That would be so cool, like a Venmo for FX. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think I already previously touched upon it. Like, we're currently not dealing with a virtual currency exchange. We're dealing with the physical with a physical currency exchange, and we see those two things as completely different markets. So yeah, we'll still be focusing on the physical cash exchange, because as I said before, the virtual space is quite crowded already.
And another question I'm seeing that I think is pretty interesting is, do you think people nowadays are feeling more secure and actually trust each other enough to welcome plain exchange as a method for currency exchange, or is security kind of still an issue? Just from personal experience since launch.
I think at least from what we saw in university, we were quite surprised because first we thought people would only do those penny exchanges, like from leftover currencies. But what we saw, like as Johannes mentioned, there were some people who tried to exchange the whole tuition. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Quite a lot of trust. I think if we give them like if we can verify identities, and if we give them a safe environment, like our campus has security guards and like CCTV everywhere. So I think then people are trusting the system.
Cool, awesome. One last question for Plain Exchange. And I'm not sure if you touched up on this earlier, but how fast does the exchange process, like how fast is the exchange process? Is it something that's instantaneous, or how does it work?
So yeah, this really varies. So if we were to compare this to traditional exchange methods, so you have to, as I said, you have to go to the bank, you exchange it there, you come back, and the entire process could take between 2 to 3 hours. Because in Hong Kong, most of the stores, like with these exchange cabinets, and they all offer different rates, so you got to go from store to store. And for me, back then, I had the issue, I went there all the time, I spent all the time, and they didn't have the currency. That's very frustrating. So whereas on the platform, you can see all the offers at the touch of your fingerprints, and you don't move if you don't accept someone's offer. So there's no time investment on your side apart from just checking out the app. And we have had pretty fast acceptance rates. Like, we don't track users. We really don't want to track users. So from user feedback, what we have received is the offers get accepted pretty fast. We've got some offers getting accepted within hours to low-digit days, so like 1 or 2 days. But currently what we're facing is because a lot of our users are exchange students, so they're currently not in the country. So they would need to come to the country to exchange. So with this little lag, so maybe it takes a day to accept, and then for another day or 2 for them to arrive. But we've also other people who are already returning to retrade, and then you have a very fast turnover rate. So like they're accepting and trading within a day or 2.
Awesome, cool. And then I got one question for Wordiem. Do you guys plan on targeting like kind of elementary kids at all with your app? It seems like something that, with the iPad generation kind of taken over, it's something that could be used in that for that target market. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, elementary kids are definitely something we're targeting. As you know, kids like these days are starting to study and prep for SATs like early and earlier. And I mean, like kids these days in high school like get iPads, they get laptops, which is ridiculous but awesome. And so that is definitely an avenue we're looking for. EdTech is just kind of interesting to break in through because like assuming our app costs money, even if a school district wanted to purchase it, there would be like voting and there are all these issues. And so it's just an interesting avenue to go through. But of course, we'd like to target anyone that could use our app specifically for learning and games.
It's very customizable too, so people of all ages can use it, and it's not just a difficult vocabulary terms, but we have the feature where you can type up the words yourself, so whatever level you're on, it's customizable, and with the users, when you sign in, sign out, you have your word list there, so basically people of all levels can use it.
Awesome. All right, well, I think it's time for you guys to give your presidential speeches now. So go ahead and take that stage.
Johannes, do you want to kick things off?
All right, I'll start off.
Johannes looks like he's got some wisdom to share.
All right, yeah, for all you travelers out there or exchange students out there, we know how you feel. Like between Long and I, we've covered already over 40 countries of traveling. And actually during the HACKcelerator itself, the entire team was only in the same country for 3 days. So we're just traveling all the time.
Are we back?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah, I was just.
How much did you?
Your running race just interrupted your speech.
You're interrupting my speech, Long. So I was just saying that people know how that we know what the struggles are for travelers like ourselves. We've only been in the same country for 3 days doing the HACKcelerator because right after the hackathon, Long and I flew to Canada. Long then went to Germany. I went downtown to Singapore. Moin was out in Pakistan, and then we were back in Hong Kong for 3 days, and now I'm in Helsinki. So you know what the troubles are. We know how difficult it is to get the currency and how time-consuming it can be. So we've been there. We're doing it all the time. And we're trying our best to make the process as efficient as cheap and as efficient as cheap for you. So yeah, that's us, Plain Exchange.
Woo woo! Let's go. I think I just woke some people up with that, but it's cool.
Cool. All right, Wordiem. The mic is
So for
yours.
us, I think learning vocabulary can be kind of a chore. Most of the time, it's just if you're doing it the normal way, you would look in an SAT book, you would highlight things, and you would go write them down. I think being able to streamline the process, being able to pass PDFs in, being able to have a social environment where not only are you pressuring yourself, but your friends are pressuring you. I think these are all really interesting ways to learn, and I think any way we can help people learn is a lot better than the way it is now. Oh, yeah, and I really like Plain Exchange.
Go.
Vote for Plain Exchange.
Awesome job, guys.
Awesome. Well.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I'll give Pate the mic to give any final words.
Yeah. Thank everyone for tuning in. Huge shout out to Sahar for setting up the Hack on Air, and of course the biggest shout outs to Plain Exchange and Wordiem for joining us on air for this conversation. It's been great getting to know more about you guys. You both have really awesome products and teams. I can't wait to travel around and meet some locals through the currency exchange, like Long suggested, as well as maybe even learn some words while I'm there using Wordiem.
Are you hinting towards something?
I'm trying to hint at a crossover, but we only have a minute left in the stream, so yeah, thank everyone for tuning in, and it's been great talking to you guys. Join us next week for our third Hack on Air.
All right. Peace, guys. Talk to you later.
See ya. Later.
Bye-bye.